Welcome to the channel and welcome to another 40k Faceoff. This Faceoff sees Roboute Guilliman of the Ultramarines face off against a Hive Tyrant and her Tyrant God. This face-off comes in at exactly 19 power level per piece. Guilliman's a bit higher on his, in terms of points, I think he's like 50 more points or something like that. It's going to be an interesting one. Yeah, let's go through and see what each are bringing to this face-off. This one's a kind of interesting one. Again, Guilliman, as with lots of special characters, part of his usefulness is that he buffs people around him, and there's no people around him here other than these aliens, which aren't really people. He gets 6 attacks, he's got 9 wounds, he hits everything on 2 ups, he's got a 3 up invulnerable. The first time that he is destroyed, on a d6 of 4 or more, he comes back to life with d6 wounds remaining. So yeah, on a 4 up he comes back to life, so that'll be interesting to see if it happens. And then we roll a d6, he could come back with 6 wounds, and he starts out with 9 anyway. So what, he could end up with having 15 wounds for this entire battle. We get to add 1 to advance and charge rolls made by friendly Imperium units around him. I think that includes him. It's called his Master of Battle ability. What else? Reroll hits of 1s for attacks made by models nearby. Reroll morale tests. I don't think we'll be having any of those. Friendly Ultramarine infantry and Ultramarine bikers can perform heroic interventions. Okay, he's actually a monster, so that's not going to apply to him. And 13th Primarch, you can reroll hit rolls for attacks made by models in friendly Ultramarine units while within 6 inches of this model. Reroll wound rolls of 1 for attacks made by models in friendly Ultramarines units whilst their unit is within 6. Wow, so you get to reroll hit rolls within 6 and reroll wound rolls for everyone. So yeah, just reroll it until it hits, basically. His left hand is the Hand of Dominion. It can shoot and it can crush. My friend Ed painted this, by the way, 1D Ed. It's a really nice looking model, well done Ed. What can it do? It's basically like a power fist, but it does 4 damage instead of like 3. It's got -3 AP, it doubles his strength, which is 6, putting up to 12 strength, which is huge really. It can do some shooting. It's like a triple storm bolter basically. And he also has the Emperor's sword, man. Look at that sword flaming away there. That's not any old sword. That's the Emperor's sword. Don't tell the Emperor. So that thing has a -4 AP. It does 3 damage. But if you roll a wound roll of 6, it inflicts D3 more wounds in addition to its normal damage. So he gets 6 attacks. He's basically hitting and re-rolling everything's. They do 3 damage each. That's 18 wounds potentially if they get through the saves, and potentially D3 on all of them. So what, that could be another 3 times 6 is 8. Just loads of wounds basically with that sword. And unlike Abaddon, it's probably not going to hurt him himself. So yeah, Guilliman's an absolute unit. And like he's a monster. He's a human monster, is he? I think. I don't know. The lines get a bit blurred, don't they, eventually? One thing's for sure, he's having a better day than him down there. Look at that guy. I'm sorry. Yeah, so that's Guilliman, or Bobby G, as his friends like to call him. I've never played with Bobby G before, so if I get the rules wrong, I apologise. You can leave a comment to tell me how terrible I am at everything. So yeah, let's move across to the Tyranids. So we've got a winged Hive Tyrant. If you haven't seen the Abaddon face-off, have a look. It was basically Abaddon against this Hive Tyrant. It's got 2 pairs of monstrous scything talons, so it gets an extra attack. It gets the reroll hit rolls of 1. It's very strong. What is it? Strength 6. Yeah, it's got a 4 up invulnerable. Starts with 12 wounds. It can fly, and very significantly, it can do 2 psychic abilities. I've given it Psychic Scream and also Smite. So potentially, really, it could happen. You could get 12 wounds off Guilliman in 1 turn of successful psychic activity. The Tyrant Guard, these are melee only. I've never played with these before. These were painted by 2Ds Ed with 2Ds. I particularly like this guy here. He looks like he's like a music festival or something, just having a great time. Anyway, yeah, very serious Tyranids. What do? if the Hive Tyrant is killed within 6 inches of them, they basically get an extra attack for the rest of the battle. That's called Blind Rampage, so that's pretty cool. What else? So they roll a dice each time a Hive Tyrant loses a wound within 3 inches of them. On a 2+, a model from that unit can intercept that hit, and the Hive Tyrant does not lose a wound, but the unit suffers a mortal wound. So yeah, if the Hive Tyrant's next to them, they can take hits instead. So they're basically like wound magnets for the Hive Tyrant. They get 3 wounds each. They are toughness 5, which is kind of a bit lower than you'd expect for something that looks just like, you know, a nail's little crab. They get a 3 up. I don't think they get an invulnerable save. No. The 2 of them have got crushing claws. These 2 in the front. So they make it harder to hit with, but they double the strength and do D3 wounds. And the other guy has a lash whip and bone sword, which is kind of not particularly spectacular weapon-wise, but if you die, I think you get to make one round of attacking before removing the model. So yeah, this will be an interesting one. Like I said, Guilliman's higher points-wise, but it's 19 power level across the board. So as I think we're going to have to take into account the synergies that are at play here. Basically, the Hive God can take wounds for the Hive Tyrant, and that's a synergy that's going to work. And I think that it's unfair to basically have them blobbing together for the duration of it. So I'm basically going to charge the Hive Tyrant as fast as it can at Bobby G, trying to get into combat. And if the Hive Guard make it there in time, then we can start to enjoy the synergies there. Just to kind of, I don't know, just to not cheese Guilliman because he doesn't have any synergies going on with anyone. Cool, so I'm going to get set up. I think it's going to look better with him going from left to right with that pose rather than right to left, where we're just going to be seeing his back. His back looks great, by the way. Nice work, Ed. So yeah, let's get set up and see what we're going to do. So, whilst feasting on some corpses, a bit of biomass thirst going on, who's this plucky young man here? It's Bobby G. He's trying to stop them. Let's do a 40k face-off. Okay, so I've fished out my blue dice and my purple dice. I've actually ordered some more coloured dice because I think it kind of works well with these. So we'll roll off to see who goes first. Is it the Squidnids or is it Bobby G? Let's go. It's the Squidnids. The Hive Guard are going to move first, I think. They move a base move of 7 inches. They're going to advance, and so they're going to go 7+4. What's that? 11 inches. Pretty good. Scuttling up like absolute champs there. Getting within gnashing distance of Bobby G. So, okay. And next we're going to have the Hive Tyrant. Hive Tyrant has a base move of 16. So I think I'm going to basically walk up to halfway up the battlefield and try to get in some smiting. So that's going to get me up to just where that number 4 line is on the left. So let's go get it just in there. Cool. So we don't have any shooting. So we've got psychic stuff, but honestly, it's an 18-inch range, and that's definitely not within 18 inches. That's 12 there. So with that, we're actually at the end of turn 1 for the Tyranids. So let's get my turn dice, the brown classic, and move on to turn 1 for Guilliman. So he gets a base move of 8 inches. So yeah, we're basically going to do that. We'll walk up 8 inches and then do some shooting with that hand of, what's it called? The Hand of Dominion. So yeah, he's done his movement, and look at this, getting quite close, isn't it? Maybe he should have hung back actually in order to push the charge. But you know, this is 40k face-off, so let's have a big smash in the middle. So the gun on his glove is rapid fire 3. Let's check it for range. Just 24. So if it's within 12 of the Hive Tyrant, then he can shoot twice. No, he's actually just going to get to shoot 3 times. So we're going to be hitting on 2s. Gets rerolls. All hits. Wow, 2 of them 6s. Strength of it is 6 against the toughness of the Hive Tyrant is 7, so 5's to wound. 1 of them Minus 1 AP on the shooting, and the HT gets a 4 up invulnerable. Let's see if it gets through. And it fails. So that wound that will come off. Oh, actually, that's a 2 damage. That's a 2 damage weapon, so that would be 2 wounds. So what's the rule for shield wall? Roll a dice each time a friendly Hive Tyrant loses a wound while within 3 inches of the unit. On a 2 up, the models can intercept that hit. So on a 2 up, these guys take the 2 wounds. And they have done. So yeah, these start on 3 wounds, so one of these down to 1 wound now. I'll be honest, that shooting from Guilliman was a lot more effective than I'd expected. So yeah, well done, Bobby G. Let's go on to the Tyranids, turn 2. Hive Tyrant gets a huge move and is basically going to move up to like basically guaranteed charge range. So I'll pick him up and put him about there. Cool. And now the Tyrant Guard are going to move up. So they're going to move up there 7 inches, and they are going to hopefully be within charge range. So let's move them 7 inches. There you go. So that leaves them with what, like a 9-inch charge in order to get to him. Yeah, so let's move on to psychic abilities for the Hive Tyrant, who is now in range. So first off, we're going to cast Psychic Scream. It has a power level of 5. So on 2d6, I need to get 5 or more. Double 1s and double 6s are perils. And 10 or 11 means d6 wounds inflicted. So let's see what we get. Ooh, that's a 11. Wow, d6 wounds now about to come off Guilliman. I'll use one of these again. Oops, excuse me. So d6 wounds. What? No way. And with that first psychic ability, Bobby G is down to 3 wounds. Honestly, that's ridiculous. Next, we're going to do Smite, the old classic, the old-fashioned. What was it? That's passed. D3 mortal wounds. That's 2 off. And with that, Bobby G is down to 1 wound. Yikes. So now let's do some charging. So the Hive Tyrant is going to try and charge. What's it need? 3 inches to get in. So we need 3 or more. 1, 2. It's only just in. Wow. So 3 inches gets 1, 2, 3 up there. That'll do, pig. And now the Tyrant Guards. They're going to need a 9 in order to get in. Let's see how they do. 7, so that's a failed. So okay, so at least Guilliman's going to get like if he survives the combat, he's going to get a turn of fighting against just the Hive Tyrant, taking its own wounds. So yeah, let's move on to the Hive Tyrant's attacks. Hive Tyrant gets 4 attacks normally, gets an extra 1 for having the basically feet scything talons. I need to remember he gets an attack, or she gets an attack with a prehensile tail. Crash zoom on the tail. Don't forget that. So yeah, hitting on 2s, re-rolling 1s, because scything things re-roll 1s. Everything hit. Strength 6, toughness 6, 4 ups to wound. 2 of them. So yeah, each of these could potentially do 3 damage. So he gets a 3 up. Guilliman gets a 3 up invulnerable save. Both passed, which I'm kind of relieved about, because honestly, if he got just steamrolled before swinging an axe or anything, I was going to be a bit disappointed. So yeah, that's cool. He survived all that. Oh, we do the prehensile tail, don't we? 1 attack, hitting on a 2. Hits. Strength 6, toughness 6, wounding on a 4. It wounds. It's got no AP value though. So Guilliman gets his 2-up save. That's passed. So on to Guilliman's combat now. He can either hit with his fist or his sword. He gets 6 attacks. I'm going to do 3 with each, just to see sort of what happens, to be honest. First off with a Hand of Dominion. He's going to be hitting on 2s and re-rolling. Wow, pretty low rolling there. Yeah, all hit. The Hand of Dominion doubles his strength, so he's strength 12. Hive Tyrant's toughness 7, so these are wounding on 3s. And he gets to re-roll that. So 2 of them get through. It's got a -3 AP, so the Hive Tyrant gets its 4-up invulnerable save. Each one that gets through could be 4 wounds off, which these could be 8 wounds gone from the Hive Tyrant. So yeah, 4-up invulnerables here. Actually, I'll do them in purple, just to keep on brand. 4-ups for the Hive Tyrant. 1 passed, 1 failed. So that's 4 wounds off our Hive Tyrant here. So down to 8. Now the 3 attacks with the Sword of the Emperor, don't tell the Emperor, going to be hitting on 2s and re-rolling 1s. Where's the other one gone? Oh, there it is. Ooh. Yeah, they all wound. We're going to be wounding on 3s and re-rolling fails. They've all got through. Wow. Now we have 4-up invulnerables for the Hive Tyrant. I'm running out of purple dice, so 4-up. Oh, hang on a second. That's a wound roll of a 6. That means that this one, it inflicts D3 additional mortal wounds. So we're going to have to roll for that separately. So first off, we'll do the first. These are the 2 4-up invulnerables for this. Do they get through? One of them gets through. Okay, so that one's got through. And then for this one, we're going to have a 4-up invulnerable save. And that passes. Okay, so for that one that got through, that is 3 wounds off the Hive Tyrant. And so it's down to 5 wounds. And that is the end of that combat. And so now we move on to Guilliman's turn 2, sorry. So just reposition them now so it looks kind of better, but you can still see what's going on with the fight. Guilliman on 1 wound, Hive Tyrant on 5. These guys all okay except for the one at the back on 1 wound. So now I'm going to split the attacks again. I think that worked out quite well. I like that I don't have all my sort of eggs in one basket. So first off, with the Hand of Dominion, we're going to be hitting on 2s. And they've all hit. Going to be wounding on 3s. 2 of them. -3 AP. So we're going to have 2 4-up saves. Each one that gets through is 4 wounds off. So 4-up invulnerables. Both failed. And with that, 8 wounds come off the Hive Tyrant. And so Bobby G has absolutely just calamaried that Hive Tyrant up. Absolutely brilliant fighting there. And so shall we see if the Hive Tyrant lashes out. So on a d6 roll of 6, it lashes out and does d3 wounds. He's only on 1 left, so it would basically guarantee to kill him. So he has to lose a trusty purple dice. On a 6, this Hive Tyrant death throws basically takes down Bobby G. So let's see if that happens. Nope. Cool. So yeah, Hive Tyrant, which was what? Hive Tyrant accounts for 12 power level of this face-off, which is the vast majority of this force. So, but what's interesting is that he's on 1 wound left, and when he dies, he can potentially come back, but he might not. He might just get splattered by these guys in the first round of combat. It's kind of interesting, to be honest. This is his turn, so they get to move next. Yeah, let's move on to turn 3 of this kind of intriguing 40k face-off. Okay, so we're into turn 3 now. I'll move these dice out of the way except for the wound counters. So they weren't within 6 inches of that Hive Tyrant when it died, and so they won't get the extra attacks either. They kind of saw it, but they weren't close enough to really feel it, you know. So yeah, they're going to move up their base 7 inches, so all the way up here, and then basically charge next turn. So let's do that. Cool, so movement done. They can't shoot or anything, so let's see if they can roll a 2 to get into combat. Yep, that's pretty much a 2. So yeah, let's get him surrounded. So Guilliman well and truly surrounded now by the snapping claws and the snapping jaws of this Tyrant God, who they feel like something's gone wrong. That Hive Tyrant disappeared, but then it can't entirely, you know, tap into their feelings really and use it. So yeah, let's move on to the first round of combat for these snippy little buggers fighting against Guilliman. So first off, we're going to do the crushing claws. I think we're going to do the different weapons separately. I'll do the bone sword separately. So they get 3 attacks each, so that's 6 attacks. It's kind of hard to hit with those crushing claws, so they won't be hitting on their normal 3-ups. They're going to be hitting on their 4-ups, so let's see how they do. Pretty well. Actually, not that well. They have a strength of 5, which is doubled by these claws, and so they're basically, because he is toughness 6, going to be wounding on 3s. 1 pass, 1 fail. They have an AP of -3, which is going to be really good against tanks and things that don't have invulnerables, but he does. He has a 3-up invulnerable, so let's see how it does. This does D3 wounds, so if this fails, he's minced by these pincers. Pinced to death. Insta-pince. So 3-up save. And it's passed. So next it's Lash Whip and Bone Sword guy there at the back. He gets 3 attacks. He will be hitting on 3s this time. What? Time. Can you believe it? So now Guilliman gets the fight back with his 1 wound remaining. I'm kind of loving that he's survived all that, to be honest. Absolutely hard as nails. So we're going to make all these attacks with the Emperor's Sword. And the reason I'm going to do that is that it does D3 damage each. And if it... Yeah, basically it's an absolute beast. Basically, I'm going to do it with a sword because it would be awesome to just kill all of them like that. So yeah, I'm going to get 6 attacks here. I don't have 6 blue dice left, so let me get these. These are going to be hitting on 2s and re-rolling. Hit and misses, which is a good thing. Re-rolling these. Oh, still a couple of misses. These wound on 3s. And to be honest, re-roll as well. Reroll one of them. They all got through. So, just going to go through this slowly here. They get a 3-up save. They don't have any invulnerable save. The Sword of the Emperor has a -4 AP. I knew there's a reason I used it. So they basically don't get any saves. It does 3 damage for each of these that got through. So the first one, 3 wounds. He's only got 1 left. He's out of there. The second one, 3 wounds. He's out of there. The third one, 3 wounds. He's out of there. The remaining 2, that's just for your memory. Alright, that's just like in case you're thinking about it. And with that, guys, on 1 wound left, the winner of this 40k face-off, without any kind of stacking abilities with his pals or anything like that, no one taking wounds for him, it's Bobby G. So yeah, that was turn 3. Just the Tyranid's turn 3 he ended it in, actually. He didn't end it in his own turn 3. Just getting the band back together for a little photo here. I thought that the Tyranid guard would kill him with his 1 wound left. And then I thought he would last on a remaining few wounds potentially, or lose. The fact that he clung on to that last remaining wound, despite, 9 attacks against him, it really hugely, yeah, that was great, to be honest. He's absolutely nails. I thought the fact that he isn't a psyker and he would be getting smited and things every turn would work against him in a big way, and he did lose wounds to it. I think 6 wounds straight off the bat, didn't he lose? From Psychic Scream. Yeah, that was kind of good. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed playing it, as I always do with these. Cool. If you enjoyed it as well, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Leave any comments below if you've seen any of the models or the face-offs that I've done and you want to see them in any other videos. Leave a comment saying it. I read all the comments. I reply to most of them, to be honest. So yeah, thanks for watching 40k face-offs on Peacetime Painting, and I hope you have a good day, evening, morning, whatever it is, wherever you are. Thanks for watching. Bye.